Michael Jordan said in one of his interviews, when they said, "You're unbelievable, you're the greatest basketball player of all times. Tell me about that." And he says, "Well, you're just mentioning the successes." But he says, "For me to become the greatest basketball player, I missed 9,000 shots. Does it make him a failure? No."
Michael Jordan told me after they swept us, before you succeed, you must first learn to fail.
He's different. He's fucking different. And what this shows you is how different MJ was. That man was a fucking winner. He was a winner. And that's it. Like, that's it. MJ won. There is no other conversation. When you watch this doc and you watch how he approached his days and why he approached it and the things that he did and his reason for doing them and ultimately what he wanted and what his priority and what his goals were, you go, fuck, he did it. We know why he did it. It's not a coincidence that he's a champion. It's destiny. There was no other option. It was champion or bust. There was no 6-time MVPs, All-Star, and the Defensive Player of the Year, and most likable player in the league, and most marketable. No. If it's not a champion attached to my name with several trophies attached, there is no other conversation. And you around me, if you do not understand why I am the way I am, then this is not the place for you.
I never feel that I'm at my best. I feel I still have room to improve. I still set goals for myself to strive for. I'm never complacent with what I've achieved. Even though it's been very successful for me, I still feel I have a lot to prove, not just as a player, but as a person, as a father, to some extent as a role model in all aspects. So I'm never really too complacent with myself or with what I've achieved. When I get to a point where I feel I can improve as a player, I walk away from the game. I still feel that I have a plateau that I hadn't reached yet in terms of my skills and my expectations of myself. I'm always going to expect myself to do certain things or surpass certain things. As long as I believe that, then my road to success is going to continue to expand.
Sports is a tool that teaches, and it teaches you bad things. It can also teach you good things. It's how you perceive those things. I've looked at every experience that I've had, negative and positive, and taken that as a positive. If I wouldn't change anything, because I think it would alter some of the other things that happened. So when I look back, I can't say that I've had any bad things happen. Sure, you don't want bad things to happen, but you deal with bad things. You can't have good or without bad.
I've envisioned myself playing as a kid, playing professional baseball, because I started baseball when I was 6 years old, and I had most of my success as a child in baseball. And I really didn't have my success in basketball until in my later years. I never chased that dream of becoming a professional basketball player or even a professional baseball player. I just played the sport because I loved it. And because of the work that I put into it, next thing you know, success was kind of bestowed upon me without me actually chasing it. It just happened. I didn't think I would ever be this successful.
I wanted to excel my game and isolate my game from everybody else. That I was more than just, a few dimensional. Even when it came to Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was a crowd pleaser. He was a good offensive player. He was a great motivator. Average defensive player. I wanted to change that. I wanted to take it another step. I wanted to do all those things, that could separate me from Magic Johnson. I'm not saying he wasn't great. He still is great. But we're great in our own different way. And that was motivational for me. And to this day, it still is.
Michael Jordan, I remember I interviewed him years ago, and I said, what makes you the best in the world? Is it skill? Is it talent? Is it ability? Is it background? Is it training? And he was so awesome. He said, Tony, I can tell you the truth and it won't sound like hyperbole or false modesty. He said, I didn't even make the high school basketball team my sophomore year. I was cut. He said, what it is every day I demand more from myself than anybody else could possibly expect. I don't compete with other people. I compete with what I'm capable of. And it's just like, that kind of standard is inspiring.